is Jan Klesko. I'm so thrilled to have him on here and so grateful, actually. He had to pull himself away from happy hour. He is from Alberta, but he's down in Hawaii right now enjoying himself and some warm weather, unlike what we're getting out west here, or where he is out west and where we are here in Ontario. And for those of you that have not had the pleasure of meeting or hearing him speak before, he is a chiropractor and has been for 35 years. He is also a certified strength and conditioning specialist and a certified chiropractic physician. And he is going to be sharing with us about his perspective and helping us and the other guys in this business how men work the network marketing business. So take it away, Jan.
Okay, thank you, Melissa. Thanks for having me on the call tonight. I'm excited to be here. We just had quite the rainstorm in Hawaii here, and it was really windy the last couple of days, and actually our power was out for a few hours last night, so it's been kind of interesting. So I'll give you a little bit of my background. As Melissa said, I'm a chiropractor, and I've been in practice for 36 years now. I've just worked part-time now. I'm down to about 20 hours a week. I'm sort of transitioning out of my chiropractic practice and starting to work more of my Juice Plus business. So I'm kind of doing each about half time, I would say, now. I've been involved with Juice Plus for about 15 years. And over those 15 years, I've noticed that there aren't very many men in our business. And so I put a little bit of a presentation together to help you maybe talk to men and introduce men into our business, because there's no real good reason that I can see that we shouldn't have more men in our business. It's just because traditionally network marketing businesses have been more catered towards women. And I put a bit of a slideshow presentation together. So I'd like to share that with you. I'm working off my iPad here, and it doesn't work quite as well from my iPad as it does if I do it off my computer. It just doesn't line up that well. But I'll try and get it to work here for you. I'm going to try and share my screen here, and hopefully I can do that with you. Let me know if it doesn't work. Lower it up here. Just take me a second. Hopefully. Okay. Can everybody see that?
Yep, it's working.
Okay, great. So we're going to start with a fellow with the Donald here, and love him or hate him, I think he understands the potential of a good network marketing company. And I found this quote online and thought it was kind of interesting. So there are a lot of successful men that believe network marketing is the business of the 21st century. And Richard Kiyosaki is one of them. If you haven't read his books on the 21st business of the 21st century, I'd highly recommend it. And basically what he's doing in this book, to give you a quick synopsis, if you haven't read it, he's urging people to take control of their financial security by creating alternative sources of passive income. And this passive income keeps flowing even if you're not working. So it's something that you can do alongside what your business or alongside your own lifestyle. So what network marketing does, it has all the positive benefits of franchising without the high startup costs that you see with traditional franchises. They can be hundreds of thousands of dollars and be very prohibitive. Our business, $50, you can get into to our business and get started with a few tools, maybe a cell phone. You're on the way to starting your own business. So traditionally, network marketing businesses started out for women. And Avon and Tupperware, I think, were the first two businesses that started, and they catered towards women and women's products. And women could do these businesses from their homes through different parties and so forth. And these are some reasons why why women are naturally better at network marketing than men. They're good networkers, they're nurturers, they're good communicators. Typically, most women are non-threatening. They're good at multitasking. They're more open to sharing personal info, and just generally better suited to home businesses. And oftentimes they have a bigger why. Men in network marketing are the minority, and only 12 to 15% of marketers across the board are men. And typically men don't like home. Wow, there's lots of noise in the background. I don't know, is anybody else hearing that, or is it just me? But men don't want to sell to their friends. There's a lot of different reasons. Men think they're too cool. They don't want to get involved in a pyramid scheme, and they think that they don't have time. So overall, men just have a lot of excuses. So there's lots of reasons why men don't want to get involved in network marketing, and I think it would be a really good idea for you to familiarize yourself with these excuses and be prepared to answer them if you're interested in introducing men into your business. So I guess the real question is, can men do this business? Well, I think things have changed over the years. We're seeing more and more men getting involved in network marketing. The products are more generic. The business model has evolved into a very favorable compensation plan that includes benefits, expense accounts, etc., that a lot of traditional businesses have. And from my point of view, being a chiropractor, I've never had benefits in the 36 years I was in practice, or I have been in practice from my practice or from my business. It wasn't until I got to be the top position in Juice Plus, National Marketing Director, that I actually got a benefit package. So that was a beautiful thing for me anyway, and for our family. So these different things have made network marketing much more attractive to men. Now, as far as what type of man you want to invite into your business, well, I'm kind of biased towards the guy on the right, but I mean, it's your choice overall, so I'll leave it up to you. Okay, the fact is that men can be very successful in our business. I've noticed that there are some commonalities in men that are successful and how they do our business. Number one is that they take our business quite seriously. For them, it's what they do. It may have started off as a part-time thing or something alongside of what they were doing initially, a plan B. But as their businesses began to evolve, they started to concentrate their efforts on building a successful business. And they began to work it like it was a full-time thing. So generally, here are some other reasons that men are good in our business. They're generally good with numbers. They like to own their own business. And successful men leave clues for the other men. So here's some suggestions from me on some different ways to approach men. Once you decide what type of man you want to attract into your business, here's a few hints on how to approach men to pique their interest. Number one, ask some questions. What you want to do is you want to find out what's lacking in their life or what they're unhappy about. So you're looking for a need. And approach them with the business opportunity. Men are about providing for them and their families. They're not about saving the world. So show them the money. That's what will pique their interest. And again, most men are bottom liners. Don't exaggerate money or time and effort claims. Quickest way to lose a man in our business, I think, is if you deceive them and they feel like maybe they've been part of a bait and switch. That's the quickest way to get them to hit the road. So paint the vision related to what their needs are, and let them know that we have a tried and proven system in place. They don't have to reinvent the wheel. That will relieve some of their time concerns, possibly. And last but not least, you know, tell them about all the resources that we have in place. You know, we have their own virtual office. We have all the resources available to them. There's a team page with weekly calls. Most of the teams, like you do, have these weekly calls. They can educate themselves. And we have all the tools for them to do the business from their computer or from their phone. So, as I said, yes, men can do this business. But at the start, I think men need some help until they get their confidence built up. Our business isn't about selling somebody something they don't want or they don't need. It's about educating them. So it's a little bit different approach, and some training is needed at the start. It's easier to learn and evolve in this business with a buddy. And Jay Martin, our president and founder, has said this from the start, you know, find yourself a buddy. And here are some reasons. Number one, you work as a team. One person might be better at presenting. One person might have better skills doing follow-up or so forth, but you're combining various skills and styles. It doesn't have to be a spouse. It doesn't have to be male or female. And this just makes your business more fun when you do it with somebody else. It reduces the pressure. And last but not least, if things go all to heck, you have somebody else to blame. And men like to have a scapegoat. So what in effect you're doing here is you're creating a power couple. And what it might evolve is something that's been very successful in our business. We call it the power couple. A lot of the most successful people in our business are teams. I can give you some examples from the States: Bob and Sue Burdick, Sean and Jennifer Myers. If some of you have been to the conference, you may have met them. Closer to home, my son Brett and his wife Sarah are a really good example of this. They're in their early 30s, and they've been able to change their life completely with the Juice Plus business and working as a team. So what you're creating here basically is you're creating a super distributor team that can leap over the big obstacles in our business in a single bound. And like I said earlier, these teams can be very successful in our business. That basically is my presentation. I hope it's been helpful to you. And I'd be interested if you want to answer any questions anybody on the call might have.
Hey, Jen, thank you so much for that presentation. It was fabulous. I've seen it once before. This was the second time. So we've got a couple men on the call tonight. And, you know, I know that you're speaking to all of us, which is great. And I know that I struggle to work with men because I don't know how to serve them, because so much of what we do is female based, you know, our protein ball parties or salad in a jar parties and stuff. Could you give like any of us some tips on how we can love and support them and maybe find an event that might resonate with them through how you've kind of built? I know like you're a chiropractor and stuff, but you got obviously men on your team and are building. What are some of the things that we can do to be supporting our men on our team without them feeling like they have to turn into a female?
Well, that's the biggest challenge, Nicole. I'm glad you asked that, because we have quite a few men on our team. And what in fact we did was, as I said earlier, men don't like to host parties. So what we did was we would have events that weren't in the home. We would have something outside. So for instance, men like going to barbecues, men like going go-karting, men like going, you know, to different things that are more laser tag and things like that. So we wouldn't have events for men typically in the home. We would have them out somewhere and make it fun. We would have a short presentation. to start, just to talk about Juice Plus. And then we go do whatever we're doing at whatever venue. We try and find a venue that had a little bit of a party room or somewhere off to the side that we could have do a little Juice Plus presentation on the product and the business for the new people to educate them. And then we'd go to the event, and then after the event, we'd maybe have a few drinks or whatever. Men like to drink beer, so we've had beer tasting. We've done a whole bunch of different events like that. We've had beer and pizza after go-karting. We've had things that typically would draw men out. And in the summer, barbecues are a great thing. We have a couple barbecues every summer, and we usually have them not at somebody's house. Again, that it's less threatening, I think, for a man to go to a park somewhere, than to go to somebody's home. So that we've had more success with that. So that's something that I would definitely suggest, and just make it fun, and whatever you can come up with, be as creative as you can. But typically men won't go to salad in a jar parties. I can tell you that right off the bat. I've never been to one, and I don't plan on going to one. So, it's just how we are. That's not the kind of thing that gets us excited.
Yeah, that's a great reminder. And sometimes we have to put our different hats on. It's kind of like we talked about the bank coat in the different colors, but then there's the different sexes that we have to consider too when we're doing events, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Does anybody else have any questions or comments? Maybe you can talk to, so obviously we have a team mostly of women. Probably your stats line with kind of where our team is at, maybe 10% men, lucky if we're at 12%. What advice can you give the women on this call of what could they do a better job of getting more alignment with their partner with support? So I know for me personally, when I first started, and it was a long time before I got any type of support from my partner, is there was resistance and almost some resentment. Oh, you're going out again for another event. Oh my gosh, you're having people in our house again. What kind of guidance could you give these women that maybe are struggling a little bit where their partners aren't quite there yet?
Yeah, and that's a big one, Nicole. I think having your partner on board is really important in this business, because they don't necessarily have to be actively working the business as a distributor, but as long as they're supporting you, and sometimes they can, just support you. And I think that's really important. I think the best way to do that is to have men speakers at your events. And I know a lot of teams don't, and men go there and they don't want to listen to women talk all night. So we really, really try to, all our events, we match up a guy and a girl. If we have, let's say, 2 people speaking at an event, we'll try and have a guy and a girl speaking, one on the product, one on the business. And we switch them up, older and younger as well. So typically, a lot of times we go to events, Sarah and I will pair up, or Brett and somebody else, Maria maybe, but we try and get a little bit older, a little bit younger, male and female, to kind of cover all our bases. We've been to some events where, we've gone to younger distributors' houses and they had their parents there. And of course, they would relate to me being in business for as long as I have and my
Right.
age. So, you kind of cover all your bases, but I think it's a real big mistake not having a guy speak at one of the events, at least tell his story, even if he doesn't do his product thing, but have male involvement and try and have as many men there as possible. And if you can get, women to invite their husbands to the events just to come along to support them, then they'll see that there are some men involved in this business, and they are doing it because they probably at the home parties just see their wives' friends coming in, and there's a whole bunch of women in their houses, and they probably head out to the garage, So if they can get out to some events and see that men are doing this business, they're doing it alongside their full-time work, they're doing it like I am. I'm transitioning out of my full-time job. It basically, Juice Plus is going to be our retirement. I'm only working 20 hours a week, as I said now. So I'm kind of doing it half time, but pretty soon I probably won't be working in my chiropractic practice at all, and I'll be doing just Juice Plus or whatever else I want to do. And that's the beauty of this business, is the freedom, because it's something I have for 34 years, or I guess I've been transitioning out for my third year now. So for about 32 years, I worked full time. I work 50 weeks a year, 5 days a week. And Juice Plus has given me the freedom to work only part-time. So that's the beauty of this business.
Awesome. Could you give our guys on the call some basic verbiage of what you are using when you do reach outs to people? What are some of the verbiage that you can kind of coach our men that are on the call tonight? Because I think sometimes they get a little stuck with, what should I say? Because I don't want to feel like I'm selling my guy friends. And then is there a cool guy video that you like or use?
I use different videos, but I still use the Dr. Du Bois Whole Truth Revisited. I really like that video. It's got a good mix of science, and of course it's a man talking, so I typically will give that one out. There's not any verbiage in particular I use, but we always coach our new distributors, men and women, again, to ask questions and find out about what people's interests are, as I said in the presentation, what their need is, and just ask questions and get to know people and build a relationship. And they'll tell you everybody's got something in their life they're not happy with.
Right.
And they'll let you know, is it money? Is it time? For me, it was time. I mean, I made a lot of money as a chiropractor over the years. That wasn't the issue. The money was never an issue for me. And I know I had, over the years, the bonuses and things like that, they didn't matter to me at all. It was the time. I wanted to have more time. I didn't want to have to be in my office 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year. And I didn't even take the 2 weeks vacation together every year. I only took a week and a week. So for me, it was all about having the freedom and the time. So once you find out what the need is, then you can relate how this business might fit into that. Some people are traveling, and you can talk about how we travel and that sort of thing, So there's lots of different ways our business can fit in. And the beauty of it, and the thing I always mention to people, is it can be whatever you want it to be. It can be, a few $100s a month to full-time business. It can be just giving you a vacation every year to being retired. It's such a broad range, and that's the beauty of it, is you can make it whatever you want it to be.
Awesome. Thank you for that. We're going to be wrapping up here in a few minutes. Is there anyone else that just wants to ask one last question before we say goodbye to Jan and he can go back to happy hour in Hawaii? No? Okay. Thank you so much, Jan, for your time and taking 30 minutes out of your holiday to love on our team. That is just showing our community of how we honor each other and support each other and help each other, even on our holidays. So we owe you one, Jen. Let us know how we can support you back. So thank you. Enjoy your vacation. Enjoy the sun. And you're definitely away at the right time in Canada, because we are in a deep freeze, I think, right across. So
yeah, we've been checking back home, and it was 40 Edmonton a couple of days ago, and I was going, oh, we left at the right time. But thank you very much. I enjoyed being on the call, Nicole and Melissa, and thank you very much.
Awesome. Everyone have a great night. And just a reminder, our 9 o'clock prospect call is starting in 5 minutes, and Jen Brennan will be leading it. So a great opportunity for you guys to get your newbies on, your guests on, to learn about what we're up to. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.